Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern time zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. Thank you so much for all of your support of this show, definitely for the past over 20 years now that I've been doing this. You can find us on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. And on the radio now, we're with the biggest country radio station in South Carolina, WZLA. You'll love the music there. They play a lot of the older stuff. Now, when I say older stuff, I'm talking about the 70s country rock kind of stuff. That's kind of what I dig. So anyway, that's a good station to listen to. Now, before we move to South Carolina, I listen to them online, and I'm hearing a lot of you folks in Alabama do now. So anyway, it's a good station to listen to. It's good and it's clean, and it's what you're looking for. And make sure you listen to their morning show as well with Benji and Lacey. And another thing Benji does is about 7:30ish. Now that's on the Eastern time zone. He will have a commentary, and he'll read a Bible verse and just kind of give you his opinion of what the Bible verse is about. So I definitely appreciate you doing that, Benji. That's a great, great ad. It most certainly is. I have my friend DeJoly. DeJoly, how many years have we been friends? It's been a long time, hasn't it?
It's been about 11.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I don't know. Time passes so quickly.
Yeah, it does, especially when you're having fun.
That's right.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? This is the month of love.
It sure is.
So he's going to talk to us about that. Now, there are different versions of love. There really are. There's a love I have for my son and my daughter-in-law, and then there's a for my parents, and then there's another special love I have for my husband.
And there's also a love for yourself.
Yeah, and that's something we leave out all the time. As women,
Yeah.
I don't know, we're programmed that way or what, but you have to be ready, and you have to be able, if you want to help other people, then you've got to be able to do that on a healthy way.
Yep. Yes. You know, one of the things that I liken it to is where air flight attendants, they talk about putting the oxygen mask on yourself first, which is exactly what we need to do as far as learning how to love ourselves so we can love other people. It isn't programmed into us to care for ourselves. We always care about other people, but we can also burn out very quickly if we don't take care of our own needs and our own self. So when you put your mask on, at least you're alive and well and able to help others. But if you don't put it on yourself, you try to put it on somebody else, you're done for. you get burnt out very quickly.
That's a great analogy.
Then there comes resentment and, jealousy and all the rest of it. Like, it's hard to get past the barrier of caring for ourselves is important. That caring for ourselves is very important, but we often can't get there because we are programmed from birth, basically, as women, as girls, to take care of everybody else first. Everybody else's opinions and everything that they stand for is more important than us. And it could be male or female. It doesn't matter. You're outside yourself. So what I do is I bring people into themselves and have them take a look at their story about what they feel and what they want. So anyway, that's my thing about self-love.
Absolutely. Now, before we dig in, I would like for you to tell folks about yourself, because you're an author and a speaker, and you're out there. Folks can call you, and you'll be glad to come speak to the group.
Absolutely. I would love to. I've done a lot of things in churches and other groups. I used to speak at universities and conferences about forgiveness and healing and self-love, but definitely in the realm of forgiveness of others. But intentionally, I talk about forgiveness of self. because that's where we reach into the self-love part, where you take care of forgiving yourself for not knowing what you didn't know. That's what I love about the Maya Angelou quote, where she talks about you didn't know then. So if you knew, you would have done differently. You would have done better, quote, better. And so she says, forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know, because we are always so critical of ourselves that we did something wrong, or quote wrong. I don't consider it wrong. It's a decision that has consequences. Every decision that you make has consequences. It's how you perceive it as good or bad. And I tend not to use the good or bad acronyms, but the idea that you didn't make a decision that worked out the way you wanted it to. Okay, so make a different decision, and forgive yourself for not knowing that you could have made a different decision back then, whenever it was.
Well, life doesn't come with a book. Well, the Bible, you could say that. But as far as instructions on making stupid decisions, I've made a lot during my life. but no one could have told me, except for the Bible, no one could have sat down with me and told me how I was about to make a dumb decision. I had to experience that dumb decision so that I could know better next time. And like the quote we've heard before, if you keep making the stupid mistake over and over again, and you're getting the same results, maybe you need to change that decision.
Yes,
I think that also brings in the word accountability.
It does.
If I take accountability for all the dumb decisions I've made, and then I just move on and make another one and try to make the right one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's every decision. We make millions of decisions every day, whether it's to turn to the left or turn to the right or look up or down. It's a decision. And so sometimes we have results that we don't like. Sometimes they're difficult results, and sometimes they're wonderful results. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, if we start paring it down into right and wrong and good and bad and all the rest of it, then we box ourselves into being a certain way, and we don't allow ourselves to make other decisions. We just keep piling on the self-hatred. I'm just going to say it, self-hatred about making these decisions. But I like how you said that you change. You say, okay, I made that decision. I'm going to go and make this other decision. I call it pivoting. You pivot, like if I said I was going to do something and I decided that I really wanted to be by myself that evening, I just pivot. I just say, no, don't think I will. And just because I could even say I have a commitment, and my commitment is to myself, and myself wants to have a nice hot bath with candlelight and wine, that kind of thing. So those are the things that I look at when I say decisions and all of that. The accountability that you have for your own life is real important. It's very important because your accountability says, I did this, and it was okay. I did it. Yes, I take responsibility for that. How can I make it different? How can I make it more acceptable that I can change my mind? That's one thing we're always told, you can't change your mind. Yes, you can. You can pivot anytime. In the middle of making a decision, you can pivot. So for me, it's like, I have people writing. I intertwine writing and life coaching. Mm-hmm. And so they write out what it is they want to do, or what decision they made that was that came out to be not something that they really enjoyed. And I say, so what could you do different? And they have to write. They write about it. They write, and what would that look like? What would you look like in 5 years if you had made the decision that you're going to make right now? And that changes a lot of things. Sometimes they're more confident. They're more loving toward their family. They're more open to the possibilities that things could be very successful for them. Mm-hmm. In the case of employees, when people write and they talk about what they can do in the future, what they want to be in the future, and they clear up all the old, it becomes very clarifying for them. They see, oh, that was my mindset back then. I don't know if I want to have that mindset now. So they changed their mindset, and they look at themselves in the future, and wow, I like that. So employees that do that, this has been a study. Employees that keep a journal are far more likely, 23% higher productivity, more community oriented, where they get along with the other people that they work with, and all of that. So when they get clarity about what they want, and that's important. It's not about talking about the employer. I don't want to do this for the employer. I want to do it for myself. When they do that, they are more productive and more community minded. So this was a study that they did in Japan many years ago, the Pinnaker study. So it's kind of like, that's pretty good, and that proves out how it worked for me, because when I was doing the beginning of my recovery process from childhood abuse, I started writing because all I wanted to do is rant and rave at that time, like, why did they do this to me? Blah, 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 And then it got to, well, I don't have to be a victim. Oh, I don't? No, I don't. So I moved toward the other part of it, which is taking, like you said, accountability and recovering the things that I knew that I did that I wanted to do differently. I did. I moved into that, and I started writing about that instead of the poor me syndrome, right? Yeah. And so it changes people's lives. People shift. Their whole perspective changes when they do some journaling toward what they like to have in their lives as opposed to what they have right now.
Well, I'm just telling you, you really turned me on to journaling. And let's just use, I have several journals, but let me just tell you one that I really go back to that's very helpful year after year after year, and that's my gardening journal. Because I can see and I write down, because I'm not afraid to write down my gardening.
Oh, well, yes.
Because, and you're going to make mistakes in gardening, and it can be out of your control. It could be that, it was too hot that year, you had no rain. So it's important to put down the mistakes and things that you did, because then you can go back and look at that journal from last year and say, okay, I'm about to start the garden again. What do I need to do differently than I did last year so I can have better results? Now, we had a good garden. I mean, it was pretty good, especially for the first year that we moved here. But there are other things I want to do. I want to take it to the next level. And so we're about to have some shows about that. So we're about to really tighten in, and Phil's going to help me with the producing of that. But the point is I'm admitting my mistakes so that I'm able to grow from it. Yeah, I see I did that. That was not the right thing to do. But I cannot do that anymore and find another option. Mm-hmm. Move on, because if I didn't have the journal, I might make the same crazy mistakes all over again because I'm not remembering everything. Yeah. But the journal just puts it in my face. The journal just puts it, yeah, that's what I did last year. Now I remember that.
Yep. Well, you know what? There's a new trend going out there, and I was very surprised because the other day I went to Walmart and I wanted to get a journal, a spiral notebook kind of journal, and I looked up and I saw gratitude journal. So there are all kinds of journals trending out there, and this one I was surprised to see it in Walmart. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it for me, that's part of my journaling is when I get up in the morning and I do my meditation, prayers and all that, and I have my coffee and I'm looking out into my woods, I am so grateful for where I live, for the peace that comes with living where I live and the open space and all of that. I mean, it's just, and you have to understand that you can be angry at the same time you're grateful. You can hate some things and love some things. They all can exist in the same space. And when you write about them, like for me, it's like journaling about gratitude. To me, it's like make your gratitude list, and it can be as many things as you want or as few as you want, and then think about it. So like you said, you can make the same mistakes again or same actions that turn into what you call mistakes. But you can also pivot. You can also say, no, I think I'll do this differently next time. And you may keep the whole foundation of it all, but change one thing which will change your life, basically. And for
DeJoly,
me,
we're going to have to go into a commercial break. So time just flies when we do this. So
It
we're going to have
always
to take a
does.
break. So we can afford this show. So people don't need to do this. But we'll be back in just a few minutes. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community.
Good afternoon. We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Been doing this for over 20 years. So glad to be part of your world. I'm so glad you're part of my world. Absolutely. Continue sending email to Donna@donnasedge.com. That's Donna@donnasedge.com. I've got DeJoly is back with me, and we've been talking about journaling and, owning yourself, owning your mistakes and those kinds of things. That's the only way you're ever going to grow and love other people. Do you feel the same way, DeJoly?
I absolutely do. I think journaling can change your life. It can change the world around you because your perspective changes when you own your own quote mistakes or change your life in things that you want to do, like, for instance, changing your job or changing your home where you live, all of that. When you change those things, journaling can do the same. It can actually change your life.
Mm-hmm. And change the lives of those around you. And another good reason for journaling is, let's say you pass away and your daughter-in-law loves gardening. Yeah. Then you've got all the things that you've made mistakes with, and that way she can see, she's even putting her mistakes down there. That way they can see you're a real human being,
That's right.
and they can learn without having to go through all the mistakes you did.
Yeah, one of the things that I would say I regretted when I started, coaching was that I hadn't been able to do an interview and get the story of my granny's life. My granny was, my mother's mother, and she had so many stories. Her life was an amazing life, but I didn't have the time in my head, the brain, to do that, even though I wanted to. I wanted to do it, but I was never in her presence because she was in Denver and I was in other places. Mm-hmm. So if a person that has your journal, they can know who you were, what you loved, what was exciting to you, what was tragic to you, all kinds of things. So to me, it's like, keeping a journal not only is for yourself, but at some point, like you said, it could be somebody else's. Oftentimes, though, people don't want others to read their journals. And I always recommend that if you don't want others to read your journals and you're done with that part of your life, go ahead and burn them. Get rid of them. You don't have to keep them. Right. But on a gardening journal, that's a whole lot different. You're not going to rant and rave about your childhood or anything in a gardening journal. Uh-huh. But there are different kinds of journals. There are different reasons for keeping a journal. And so, for instance, the one I mentioned earlier about the employees, they kept a gratitude journal. That was how am I grateful for my workmates? How am I grateful for this job? How am I all kinds of things. And it changed their lives. It changed the whole attitude and atmosphere in the workplace because they changed themselves in that process. And so the gratitude made a huge difference. But anyway, there's that. There's a changing for a variety of reasons you change through writing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I just found out in recent years, my great-grandmother was an herbalist. I had no idea. She made salves. Now, her dad was a medical doctor. Mm-hmm. And so, and I think she probably helped him in his practice. But my aunt, I've told you about Aunt Elizabeth, who's 104 years old now. Wow. So she said, you're stepping right into mother's, there's my granddad's sister. You're stepping right into your great grandmother's realm, what she used to do. And I said, did she make salves? She said, yeah. She said she was a beekeeper as well. So what she would do is she would make salves for people in the community when they were sick and whatever. She said, and I said, well, what do you remember about that? See, I wish my great grandmother had a journal. It would benefit me big time,
Yeah.
Thanks. But she said, she would use the wax from the beehive. Mm-hmm. And she said it's probably why we grew up so healthy. And it's probably why she's 104 years old and has the mental capacity she had.
Yeah.
She lived by herself at 104.
She's still living?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. That's awesome.
Not my great-grandmother, my aunt, her daughter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so she's 104, still alive, still living by herself, makes decisions on her own.
Wow. That's
And it's
awesome.
probably because her mother, my granddad's mother, probably because she did things the natural way. She said, oh, she would send us out in the woods looking for a particular plant.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she wished that she had paid more attention. She said, because then I could give, she said, but the one thing I do remember is the beeswax. And she would put that and melt it down and make sounds out of it and give it to people that had been stung by, like a spider or, a snake bite, all those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I get that. And I think it's so important that we have our history, so to speak. I mean, a lot of people are into ancestry.com, but our history can be done through journals, just what did you do in your life? What was joyful for you in your life? What brought you pleasure? What kind of exciting adventures did you go on? So we can learn a lot from other people's journals. Historically, not just politicians, but people who were in positions of power, let's put it that way, kept journals. Mm-hmm. They wrote all through history. They've been writing. Mm-hmm. And so they made decisions and then they wrote about them thinking, they stewed about it. How you go back and forth with, should I do this or should I do that? Yeah, exactly. And that's what you do in a journal. You can actually write it out and have, what we find is that you become more clear about what your goals are, what your aspirations are. You can evaluate the personality of a person that you're in relationship with, not necessarily a love relationship, but even I say even the postal person and the cashier at the bank are in relation to you because you're, two people. But if you have a relationship that you're struggling with, you can write out about it and then look at it and say, oh, am I okay with that? Or, wow, I really like that. That person is better than I thought they were. Whatever, But it does bring a lot of clarity, and I think that's what journaling is meant for. In the sense of, what are we going to do in the garden next year? What are we going to do in this relationship? Am I going to take that trip? All kinds of things. How can I invest my money? Just a lot of different things. And journaling and writing in particular can be done in 5-minute sessions. I tell people you can write a book on Post-it notes.
DeJoly, we're going to have to go into a commercial break. There went the timer.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being with me. And
You're welcome.
Thank you guys so much
for having me.
Oh, always. And thank you guys so much for watching. We definitely appreciate that. And we will see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you.
Because of your overwhelming support, our $14.88 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing, including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.